what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And my friends, we are waking up legendary in more ways than one. I am double fisting this morning, as I often am. Two coffees on deck, plus some water. Okay. Got the famous Spring Mountain Valley sparkling water because I am extraordinarily excited for this morning's interview, as I am for most all of our interviews that we do here at Legendary Marketer. If you're brand new to the show, know that each and every guest that comes on is not been prepped, scripted, planned, doesn't have any idea what questions I'm going to ask or what we're going to talk about, nor do I. It is truly off the cuff and gives you a, real, as real as it gets perspective about what this journey is like. We hide nothing. We sugarcoat nothing. We avoid no difficult topics, and we ask people not to make it sound better than it is, because we want to give you the real perspective of what it looks like to build a digital marketing business online in 2024 and beyond. So with that being said, please help me welcome. Let's jump right into this morning's guest. Lacie, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Hi, Dave.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent. How you feeling this morning?
It's a really funny question because I've actually been battling norovirus still currently, and I was super nervous. So I'm feeling better. Praise God for that. And I'm alive.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better, and I'm certainly grateful you were able to make it here with us this morning. So awesome. Well, hey, let's start back at the beginning with what led you to Legendary. What were you looking for? Do you feel like you found it? Give us a little bit of your backstory and how you found us.
So I actually, for my husband went to chiropractic college, and I supported him full-time job through all of that. And then once he opened up practice, we thought I'd work for the clinic for only 6 months, and that was totally not how it worked. So for the last 5 years, I've helped him up and run that, and finally hired some staff. And in December of a year and just a little over a year ago, we had our 4th baby, and I finally took a step out and was like, this is all I've ever wanted, was to be a stay-at-home mom. And I was really excited about that, and slowly decided that it's absolutely what I want. But I felt like I was missing out on a lot of stuff from being involved at my husband's clinic. So I wanted something that I felt was mine, something that I felt like I had a passion in and a joy in. And I was also a youth pastor. And in December, I actually was let go from that because I was doing affiliate marketing for a fitness company, and influencer marketing, not affiliate marketing, influencer marketing for a fitness company. And the church decided that that was not something that they really thought was a good mesh for a youth pastor. So it was really devastating when they decided to say no more. So I had been following actually Chelsea for almost a year, because I started influencer marketing in June of last year. And then finally, when that started going downhill in November, I was like, listen, like, this is what I got to do. I'm signing up for Legendary. It looks exactly like the passion and the skills that I'm wanting to dive into. Plus, I also was massaging after my husband got off of work. I was massaging to bring in extra income to be able to pay for the bills so I could stay home. So I was like never seeing my husband ever, unless I would just pop in and see him at the school, or at the college, at his clinic. So I just decided, I took the leap of faith. I actually won a challenge in November it was the fitness challenge, and it was with Bucked Up, and I completed it, got the $4,000. So I took first place, and I started that by saying, like, I'm going to win this, because we wanted to redo our basement window so we could add a basement bedroom. And then after I won it, I talked to my husband, and I was like, so you remember that passage in the Bible where it talks about the talents, and how, like, we're not supposed to bury our talents. We're supposed to take what we have and, like, grow it and invest and use those talents and multiply them. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, I kind of want to take the money that I just won. I know we had plans for it, but I'd really like to just invest into the legendary marketing instead, because I think, actually, I said, I know, I just need you to trust me. I know that I can take the 4,000 and I can multiply it if you just let me, and then we can finish the basement. And so that's actually what I did. I started and I was like, I'm ready to go. And I started day one and I did like 3 days and 2 days. And then I was like ready to go. And then it got locked up, and I had to meet with the advisor and I'm like, oh man, I can't keep going. My husband just thought I was literally going crazy because I was ready to rev up. I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to prove to my husband and to myself that like, let's do this. I'm going to make this happen. I can have something that I'm passionate about and enjoy, but also stay home with my kids, that I don't have to feel like I'm slaving away, missing time.
Yeah. Wow. Boy, you are full of energy and full of excitement about this, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. And you've got a great mindset. Talk to us a little bit about you said in your questionnaire, your why was family time and also breaking curses of generational poverty mindsets. Say more about that. What is that all about for you?
So I grew up, I have a really great family, and I don't want to discredit that. I love my parents. And I had two other brothers, but we grew up in a trailer park. And it's not your typical, like what you think of in the big cities, like roughed up trailer park, but we lived in a trailer house for 18 years. And my parents struggled day in and day out. My mom was on disability and she couldn't work. She couldn't some days even get out of bed. She had a lot of health issues. And then my father was constantly from pretty much sun up to sundown working. So we really never saw him. He didn't get to be a part of a lot of our activities or any of the things that we were involved in school. And it just felt like he loved us so much that he provided for us, but it sucked that he had to sacrifice that time with us and those memories. And so there was a whole lot of background involved in that. But then, there's always more that you can do. And I believe that our scenario oftentimes is a reflection of our decisions that we've made. And if we don't make decisions to change that, then you're going to stay where you're at. You're going to stay in a cycle of continual sameness. And so I have, for honestly, since I got out of high school, that's been my goal, is just breaking generational curses of one thing or another. And one of the biggest things that for all the generations in my family, like they've just worked and worked and worked and hustled until they turned blue in the face to still have nothing to show for it. Like I know they talk about our generation isn't going to have like retirement, but I don't know anybody in my family that did. My family still worked up until like 65, 70, 80, till they just absolutely were too sick to work. And for me, I just decided, I watch my husband work so much, and he has a passion and a joy. And it's funny because the day that I started this, I got my first commission. He laughed and he's like cleaning the house and he's like, listen, you can be sorry. He's like, you can be my sugar mama and I'll just work like 2 days. We'll hire a new doctor at the clinic so we can just be a family. Cause that's what we've always wanted, is to just be able, we have 4 kids. We have a passion for kids. My husband, that's his job, is with kids. And so like, we just want to be that family and not miss out on those things. My husband, his father wasn't involved in his life. And he oftentimes is like, man, I just want to make sure that I'm there for my kids as much as I can be. And he still feels like he misses out on a lot. So when I looked into Legendary, I was truly like, what if I really could, during bedtime, sacrifice a little bit of my TikTok scrolling for TikTok creating to make money, to be able to have that life that we dreamed of. And on top of that, teaching my kids, like all of it, my husband and I are big entrepreneurs, right? And so we are always trying to teach our kids, like, let's do these things. Well, a lot of times they don't see the work you put in when you're at a 9-to-5 job. They see that you go to work, but they just think you're just leaving so that you can make some money and come home. When I'm working and I'm showing them, like I homeschooled for 3.5 years, like I am showing them how to do the work. I'm showing them that nothing comes just because you ask for it. You got to actually put the footwork in and do the freaking work so that you can say your success is your success. And so the generational curses for me, like, one, my parents, you know, just watching them struggle day in and day out. There were days that they hit it really well, but we didn't even know what we were going to eat sometimes, right? And so living in a trailer park and just for me, I was bullied a lot growing up because of that. Like, I don't believe that I don't believe it's as big of a thing it is as it is now, but like, I was bullied just because I didn't have money. I didn't come from wealth. I didn't get to have the newest clothes. I didn't get to have things that all the kids did. I didn't even get to go to the activities because it cost money. And I don't want my kids' lives to be sacrificed because of that. Now, I will say, like, you know, material things are not the important thing. It's the time with my family that I absolutely do not want to miss out on.
Yeah. Gosh, I hear that so loud and clear. So does Turquoise. Says that's my story. Crystal says I was there too. I feel you. Um, uh, uh, Jim says I feel all of this. Zafra says Lacie, your vulnerability and openness is touching my heart. Same here. Bullies suck, but it made you who you are. So strong and inspiring. So many. Oh my gosh, I feel this so much. Kids can be cruel for the stupidest reasons. Reem says 100%. Stephanie, same trailer, same struggle. You know, a lot of story of my life. She's powerful. Love it. How does it make you feel to start to share in this way, sharing your story, turning your mess into a message, turning your struggles into your strengths, and using this, you know, your life story as content to be able to inspire and impact people? I mean, yes, you're starting to have some success early on, making a little bit of money, getting a little bit of momentum. How does it feel to have the feedback, to build the audience, to begin to have people letting you know that what you're sharing is inspiring them? How does that make you feel?
Honestly, that's my love language. They talk about all the love languages, but my ability to help people is really what fulfills my bucket. And again, I say it with as much respect as I can. My dad just doesn't understand why I'm always giving and always trying to just he always tells me, stop wearing your heart on your sleeve, stop telling people so much about yourself. But really, is we all have a story. We were all put on this earth. We all we all go through stuff, but we want to hide it in the closet and act like it doesn't happen. And instead of doing that, I want to use that to help people push forward and to know that it does impact, because I get in my head a lot. It's easy to do, but I constantly get in my head to say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't tell people about this stuff. Maybe they're going to think a way I don't want them to think, and I'm trying to portray this, but they're going to take it this way. But the reality is if they take it the wrong way, then you're not going to say the wrong thing to the right person, and you're not going to say the right thing to the wrong person. And so they just must be the wrong person if they take it a way that it wasn't meant to be. And so it's really, really nice to hear that it is impactful, to give that confidence to continue to open up more and to break those cycles in my head of you're saying too much, or don't tell people what's really going on in your life, or all the limiting factors in your brain that pop up. It's really helpful to know that there are people, one that honestly, growing up, I just didn't feel like, I look back now and I don't feel like a lot of the people in my life wanted more. I felt like people were too comfortable in the mess. And I don't want to live that way. I want to strive for better. I want to strive to continually be taking more steps. And if I know that that's helping people, it definitely makes me feel good to continue to do that.
Yeah, I'm wanting to beat this hat up here. Boom, just get fired up, throw some stuff. I mean, even some of these comments, man. Elizabeth says you are turning trauma into tools. Never heard it put that way, Elizabeth. Well
Mhm.
said. Well said. I talk to
Good.
people about that. It can be done. Very well said. Yeah, Mandy, love that, right? Turning trauma into tools. A lot of great comments. Um, Jasmine says, "Keep sharing your story. It's so inspirational and relatable." Adelita says, "We can't please everyone, as you were just
Yeah.
saying. Your passion and grit is the thing that would transform the youth. The humans within the church structure do not define you. God does." Such a wonderful message. Thanks for being so vulnerable and authentic. You will help so many people. Mark says, "Don't ever stop telling your story." Carolyn says, "I am proud of you. I also started in a trailer park 77 years ago. I am grateful to God for bringing me here." Ludwig says, "Turn your mess into a message. That's everything about." So, um, wow, it looks like you're resonating. And so, talk to us a little bit about the confidence that this has built within you. I mean, you touched on it just a second ago. You
Yeah.
obviously invested in the education here. You went through, it took a commitment for you to go ahead and take that leap of faith. Now that you've gone through and are launched, which congratulations, you started in
Thank you.
November, right? So the fact that you're, at least that's what I believe you said on your questionnaire just a moment ago, right?
Yeah. So I signed up for Legendary in November. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I launched in January.
Okay. Yeah. So very new, very fresh. That means you also were learning through the holidays. Congratulations on that, right? That can be tricky to navigate.
It
Um,
was
yeah. So, I mean, talk to us about what this experience has been like for you. I mean, maybe touch on some of your limiting beliefs. You have a little bit, but also how this has built your confidence. I mean, getting those first videos out,
Mhm.
growing slowly and feeling like, maybe this isn't, maybe and what has gone through your head and what's been some of the highs, what's been some of the lows, what should people expect, and what can you share from this short period of time since launching, and even getting ready to launch, that you look back and you say, wow, maybe I was overthinking that, or wow, I would have done this differently, or wow, this has really built my confidence. What stands out to you from the last month or two?
so so many things go through my head. I'm going to try to hone in here real quick, but it's kind of funny because when I was going through with Charlie, my advisor, um, I had researched. I'm like, again, my husband's a chiropractor. We're big into the holistic world. We research, like that's our that's our thing. So I had already researched, like I felt like every detail of what I could for Legendary before I even hit the $7 challenge purchase, because I had been watching a few people for a while on it. And I was like, okay, I already know about the blueprints. I already know, like, when do I get started? And I was like, I just want to complete it. So I was ready to complete my 15 days in like 5. And then when I couldn't keep going, I was like, oh, crud. Okay, I got to meet with an advisor. That's not till tomorrow. I'll just hold off. And my husband actually was thankful, because he's like, remember how you said it was like 2 to 3 hours? You're kind of like really diving in and trying to take up like 10 hours. It was not really 10 hours, but I was just really excited about it. And so I remember with Charlie on I think it was the second call right before I thought that's when I was going to be able to purchase the blueprints, because I was ready to go. And I remember telling him, we got through, and he's like, okay, I'm going to have you watch the video and then we'll talk again tomorrow. And I just started laughing a little bit, and I didn't know he could hear me. And he just goes, is something wrong? And I said, oh, no, there's nothing wrong. I'm ready. I already know that the blueprints are there. Like, can I just buy the blueprints and get started? And he literally froze, and he looked at me. He goes, well, I've never had this happen before, but sure, let's figure this out. And so as we're on the phone, we did it right then and there. And he's just like, he thought I was upset about something, which I'm sure, you probably get all spectrums of everything. And I'm just like, no, like, I don't want to wait. Can we just do it now? So then he set up another call. He's like, I'm supposed to not have any more calls today, but he was so great and set up another call for like an hour later so that we could go ahead and get things going. And So that whole next like 3 days, I finished the 15-day challenge, and I was ready, which is really great. But because again, the lack of confidence, I feel like, is always going to be the biggest thief of success. So if I confidently went into this, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this happen, like, let's go, I'm ready, I'm on fire, I can spend a little bit of time now to have a lot of time later, right? Or a lot of time now, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like ready to go. But then I launched, and I did all of it really quickly. And I was ready to go, and I had a plan, and I marked everything out on my calendar because I had a mentor tell me successful people write stuff down. And so I wrote everything down on when I was going to do everything. And then it was like, yes, I got like 7 people signed up. We're excited. I got my first big commission. And then a lot of stuff happened at home. And I was like, man, I don't have time to create anything this week, like, at all. I've got sick kids, I've got all the things, and I, in my head, was like, my success is going to stop because I had all this momentum. Now I'm going to backtrack, and is it, what do I do? And so immediately I continue to keep that confidence in my head of, well, you started from nothing. You have something. You may not have all the things you want, but if you take a week off, it doesn't mean you can't get back into it. What are you thinking right now? And I had to walk through all those things of like, well, then I got hit with being sick, and I was down, and then I was super excited when I got the email of being on Wake Up Legendary, which is super funny because my husband is a part of a team that actually came from one of your courses, and they made their own course. And so I didn't even know that it was tied together until recently. And I always told my husband, like, why do you not want to be a part of talking? Why don't you want to coach? Why don't you want to? He's like, I just don't enjoy that. And the moment I got it, I was like, this is what I've always wanted. I wanted to do it for my husband for that other course. So it was really exciting. But then I was like, all the things were against me. I was super passionate and excited and confident, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get knocked down a little bit, because you can have all the confidence in the world, but we're still living a real life. And so we have to remember, like, I had to tell myself, okay, I have kids that are sick. I have an employee that quit at my husband's clinic, so I have to go back to work there. I have all these things, but I still have to make a little bit of time, because not only is this what I want my career to be, it's also my passion. It's my joy. And so a lot of people spend time in the gym. A lot of people spend time watching TV. A lot of people will like cook or whatever to like burn their day off, to feel better and release stress. This is my stress relief. So getting on and creating a TikTok that can help other people, that then I might get some messages or comments, like, that is where I feel like I am filled up. So then my husband and I talked about it after 2 weeks ago, and he's like, listen, just take your 30 minutes and go do it. And I have a support person, so that's really helpful. That's immensely helpful, because like I said, it's been chaos in our life for the past now 3-4 weeks. But to know that I couldn't do it when my son, my youngest baby, was sleeping, because he was so needy that even holding him, it was hard to work. And so my husband taking him, and instead of going and taking a shower during that time, I went and poured into some of my legendary stuff, right? And so it was really, it's navigating where you want to spend your time and what you have to prioritize. And for me, I prioritize my family. And for me to be filled up and to give my kids 100%, I have to be able to also feel like I'm filled up. So when I'm being able to use my career as my filler rather than my drainer, our lives are going a whole lot better.
You're a lot happier, right? You're less stressed and feel like you're getting not only financial and career momentum, but also somewhat of a therapeutic value there for you, because
Exactly.
this is filling you up rather than draining you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. I love that.
I hope I answered your question. I realized
You
I think I
did.
got off on a tangent.
Oh, Lace, there is no tangents here. It's all fair game. I mean, that's the beauty of this show. We're live. I'm throwing, questions your way. You're taking them in whatever direction that makes sense for you. And that's what we're doing here. I wonder if you've gone live yet. Is this your first time being live?
So I went live one time, and I went live twice. Once when I was doing just the influencer stuff for a product and I did the unboxing, and I was like, okay, that was awful. I don't know if I could do that again.
Okay. I ask because you, oh, you here?
Are you there?
Yeah. Did you have a call come in or something?
My phone froze. Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
I just ask because you can talk, and why not why not double down on your strengths and go live? I was just curious about that, if you had gone live. I mean, you're very new, you're very early in the game. And just our guest yesterday said that, hey, I really tuned into a lot of people's lives, learned a lot from their lives. It's a great way to build, I mean, look at what we've done here. I mean, we've gone live here nearly 1,000 times with clients here, interviewing them. I've gone live thousands more times in my career, whether it be on webinars or whether it be live on social media. And so I'm just throwing it out there. Would you consider that?
Yeah, I honestly think that's one of my limiting beliefs. You asked limiting beliefs, and that's one of them because when I can post and, vulnerability, quite honestly, right now, when I can post and I can get those likes or I can get the comments, or even like doing this, I feel the love coming from those who have experienced a similar story.
Mm-hmm.
It's impactful, but I also get in my head when I do a live and it's like, I'm afraid that if I don't have more than one person or if I don't get anybody on my live, what do I talk about when somebody's not asking me questions, when somebody's not being the one that I have the ability, like I know what they want to talk about, or even know that anybody's actually interested. And so when I can make posts and I can see that it's actually getting traction and that it's for sure there, it's easier for me to feel that it's doing something. Whereas the lives in my head, I think that is a lack of confidence. It is that lack of know if it's gonna do much. And it's super funny because I'm not a technology person. I know it's crazy to believe that 31 years old, you think that this is my era. It's not. And so like even when I was in ministry, they always would be calling on me and be like, Lacie can help us set something up or ask her a computer question. No, that's actually like absolutely not true. In fact, at work, my husband will ask me to leave the office sometimes because whatever it is, I have some kind of an energy that will scramble technology sometimes. And when we're having trouble with like software, he'll be like, can you just step outside for a second because it's just not working? And we joked about it for the longest time. And now he calls me tech chick because he's like, you went from ancient person, he says rock and chisel, to being the person that everybody knows to ask for help, how to gain the fixing the software and social media and all that stuff. And so you'd think that I'd be ready and I'd be like gung-ho about it, but I don't know what it is. I don't know why I don't do it.
Well, it is confidence. You nailed it. You answered your own question. I agree with that. And when you're going live, just want to talk about this, then we can talk about what you are doing and keep it moving here. But I wanted to just, double down on the going live thing because one of the things that really builds, an audience is showing up consistently, even at the same time, even if it's one time per week, even if it's, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Of course, if it's daily, I would challenge all of you to consider, not just you, Lacie, all of you to consider going live for 7 days or for 30 days, and doing a season, right? You don't have to commit to it for the rest of your life. You can do a season 1, season 2, season 3, right? Be creative with your content. Create, let people know that it's coming. Season 1 of, non-tech marketing chick, right? Coming to you starting Monday at noon, and build some anticipation for that. And then let people know. If you want people to show up, let people know what you're going to be talking about. Pre-plan it. Then when you get on to the live, be interested in yourself. Be interested in yourself. Don't worry about if people are interested in you. They're going to be interested in you if you're interested in you. That's the whole secret. That's the whole secret of marketing.
Yeah.
You have to act like you have something special. You have to act like you have something that they're, almost ignorant for not paying attention to. The moment that you crack and you're like, is that okay? You lost them. This is marketing. I take this however you want. So for some of you, this will be a relief. For some of you, you'll have to process this. But marketing is a pre-planned performance. Look at an ad out there on the TV, on the radio, on the internet from a successful company. Are they winging it? Are they just going and doing improv? No. They've pre-planned. Even on this show, as much as we just have a conversation, I've still sent you a questionnaire. I've still, what's your name? Where are you from? Why are you here? What, right? Gives me some context, gives me some direction to be able to lead the conversation.
Yeah.
The other thing is, friends, people are not going to show up to your lives at first. And you know what? You are going to set your family up in the house. You're going to say, kids, husband, dog, I need quiet in this house. Okay. Mama's going live. Daddy's going live. Okay. And then you're going to get up on that light. You're going to set all up with all this expectation. I'm going to crush it. And guess what? It's going to be tumbleweeds. And here's what you're going to do. It's the same exact thing that I did. I planned webinars and things of this nature. And the whole house needed to be quiet. And I got on and, I was doing webinars. This was back, 13 years ago. We didn't even have social media going live on Facebook yet. It was all GoToWebinar. And so, I planned an 8:00 webinar the first time I went live, and I got there 8:02. You know how on these webinars and Zooms now we all do okay, let's wait for a few more people to come on. We even do it when we go live on social media. Okay, we'll give people another couple of minutes. That's annoying. Don't do that. Just get started. Just go. Because when that one person does come in and you're not waiting for them to come in, you're already talking. Guess what they feel? Damn, I missed something. Mm-hmm. I wonder if there'll be a replay. They start feeling the fear of loss. What did I miss? And yes, Jeff, reward the ones on time. Absolutely. Respect the ones who show up on time. Yeah. And so, guess what I did? When nobody showed up to my webinar, the first and many more times besides that, guess what? I would scream in my house just to let my family know, okay? We've got a packed house tonight. We've got a packed house tonight. I'm building that. I had too much pride to let the family know that nobody had showed up, right? And then again, when the one person, the two people, the five people did finally show up, I was already on a roll, man. And they were like, oh, snap. This cat's rolling. What's coming up for you as I'm throwing these, I'm dropping these platinum boulders.
Yeah, those gold. Yeah. So it's funny because My husband does live presentations all the time, and he actually goes live all the time for his chiropractic stuff. And he told me, it's funny when you said that, he told me that when he goes live, whether there's 1 or 100 or 0, he puts a little sticky note over the number of people that are up there, so that he has no idea that anybody's looking or not looking and how many are looking, and he just goes with it, and he just dives in and he speaks and he goes. And so, I mean, that is what I should do. I can't believe that that's something that has even been, a gear that's been stuck. But it's, yes, you were so right. And one thing that I've told my following in a lot of my my videos and stuff is my kids are running around. Now, obviously, there's a time and a place. Like today, I got the kids out of the house and I want it quiet because it's a more structured zone. But actually, that's a big part of why people have liked my content and have signed up early and have given me just that push at the beginning, is because I'm like, oh, there goes my crazy kid again, darn it, trying to work from home, but this is what I wanted. This is my joy. And if you're wanting to have a lifestyle where you might get interrupted because it's life and you have kids, sign up. And so,
yeah, here's
why
the
has
thing
that been a
about
limiting factor?
it should not. You should embrace it, and you should never stop what's going on around you when you're filming or when you're live. You should let it happen, right? Yeah. Because not only is it awkward when you stop and you're like, shh, or you're like worried about what your audience thinks. They're on your live. They're in your house. This is your video. This is your life. You're the one who's cool, who's able to record a video and work from home. Remember that. You're the one who has what they want. And you need to understand, we all need to remember the roles that we're playing when we're creating content. We are the ones who have what somebody wants. We are the ones with the knowledge or the information, and they are seeking it. So never stop. Never worry about how you look or if there's noise in the background. If your kids run up to you, and never push them away, never push them out the door, pull them up on your lap, embrace them, walk around them, interact with them while you're on video, interact with your audience. This is how you bring people into and make it an experience for them versus an awkward. Because think about this, when you're talking to somebody and your kids are kind of running around, I'm talking real life, and you're like shushing them, that's uncomfortable for the person you're talking to, because what the person you're talking to is thinking, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to shush them for me. They want the kids to just be kids. We all know that kids are kids. We all know that life happens. So when the content creator tries to dull life and stop life from happening, it makes the content creator look bad, make them look awkward, makes it feel awkward. Whereas it feels natural and authentic and awesome, and it allows them. One big aspect of this whole thing is voyeurism. Okay. Not in the weird and perverted term. Voyeurism of being able to walk in, which hopefully that is defined as and can be used. People looking into your life, right? Having the ability to look into your life. They like that. We like that. We like to feel like, oh, snap, we're up in this person's house right now, right? Remember Big Brother, Lacie? That show like back in the day where they had like cameras, and now it's reality TV. They're coming out with a new show every month, it seems like. Love is Blind, this and that. What are we doing? We're watching people as like looking into their lives. And so what's worked for you in terms of video? Like what's it been like for you to start creating videos, which is a great first step, by the way. And I love that for you. I'm just challenging you a little bit and also inviting all of you, but particularly you, Lacie, because you're a great talker. Somebody pointed out if you have a gift to gab, use it before you lose it, right? And then just act as if you're successful, and take everything that I just said over the past 5 or 10 minutes and apply it. You'll be amazed at when you act as if what you have to say is important, people will treat it as so. And
Yeah.
so what's worked for you, and what have you learned just in terms of creating videos, which again is a wonderful step, and congratulations for launching. Talk to us about what that experience has been like for you and what's worked.
So one big thing for me with doing videos is actually like when I was just planning all of it out for becoming like joining Legendary and doing all that stuff. One major factor is like I just didn't want to have imposter syndrome. And so like when I was doing influencer marketing, I kept getting the things that I was like, this is not me. I don't want to fake things, right? And so when I sat down and set up my business plan, it was real raw content. Like that's what I want to portray to my followers. And so my house is a mess, right? I have 4 kids. I'm busy. So do I clean it up to get videos? I don't. I actually don't. I'm just like, you know what? Like, you know how many moms every time they come over that they'd be like, I would have invited you to my house, but it was way messier than this. And it's like, why? We're all living the same life, we're not living in filth, but we're messy. It's lived in, right? And so I just decided that I was confidently going to be me. I was going to, like you said, if they want to follow me, they're going to follow me. And they're going to, if they're enjoying what they're seeing, my messy house isn't going to deter them. If anything, it's going to keep them watching my video longer because they want to see what that thing in the background is that's on the floor. And so it gets my videos a little bit more view. So I did that. And again, with my kids, I involve my kids in a lot of my stuff, which I do know, like some states you have to be careful because they have certain requirements and stuff that if you involve them, you have to compensate them and all that other stuff. So obviously check your state laws before you really hone in on involving them in your content. But for us here in Kansas, we don't have that. And my kids love doing that. And so I decided I was going to make it kind of like homeschooling. I'm going to make this part of showing them what an entrepreneur is and showing them how it's fun and how it's not going to be perfect. And done is better than perfect, right? So if you never do it, you're never getting anywhere with it. And so if I never share my story with anybody, I never help anyone. If I never do the video, again, back to the live, if I never do the live, then you're never going to get those people that only watch lives. So you've got me in my head that I'm going to start lives now. But as far as doing videos, like I was really worried about it being done well, which I want it to be well, right? We don't want it to just be sloppy. Nobody wants to watch sloppy, but also real and raw. So I actually rotate between doing videos that are edited and maybe have some filters or whatever, and then I'll flip-flop it and I'll post some videos that have absolutely no editing. And I disclaimer that this is completely raw and unedited, and I get more views on the raw unedited every single time than I do on the edited CapCut like type videos. So I just that's my biggest thing for myself with doing videos that I've really noticed is that people want real. They don't want to feel like, you hear it all the time. Oh, I think it's scam because it's so perfect. Well, you know what? This isn't perfect. My life is not perfect. Nothing about anything is ever perfect. So why do we think that we have to have it so perfect, right? So for videos, I also have learned that I know there's like it's back and forth. I see comments all the time about only focusing on one social media platform at a time. I disagree because all I do is I create the video on one platform and I download it before it puts the watermark and I share it to all of my platforms so that I'm getting I'm literally like spending 3 seconds more just to share it to those, or to post it on those platforms, and it going well, right? And I never know. There's sometimes where I'll create it on TikTok and I'm like, this is going to be awesome, right? This is a great video, and I think TikTok's the one that's going to blow up with it, and it's my Facebook that gets like 2,000 views. And it makes no sense. So I can't, the predictability is not there. So I just put it on everything and say, okay, social media, like, do with it what you want. But instead of limiting myself and only posting to TikTok or only posting to Instagram, I've tried just doing that, and it's helped. It really has helped.
I love that. I love that. Talk to us a little bit about kind of what you've learned about yourself. We were talking a little bit about confidence earlier, and, you know, just what this journey is, you know, what this journey is revealing for you in terms of your limiting beliefs. But what have you learned in terms of your capability and potential new that is either a great reminder or that you didn't quite know fully about yourself that you're discovering now?
That's a good question. You know, it's kind of interesting because when I was doing youth ministry, I was comfortable. Everything, I had done it for 7 or 8 years, and I felt like most of the questions I was getting and most of the stuff that was brought to the platform, it was something I could navigate without even having to really have to pause too long to figuring it out. That's not the case with legendary marketing. I've really had to stop, and I've had to process, and I've had to really figure out, again, I'm not a technology person. So I've had to take a step back and say, I've had to learn how to step back when things get super frustrating. When it doesn't make sense, sometimes I've had to learn that you're not always going to make it through in this setting. So especially with like doing the funnels and stuff, that's been my biggest setback. I would say the hardest thing to figure out for me. Like, I have one made, but then it's like, I want to make more. I want to grow with this, but I have to realize that it's important. Going back to, like I said before, about I was ready to dive in. Like, I'm a go-getter. That's my innate personality. And with the journey, even in the short period, I realized that, and I actually like it. It's kind of funny to think this, but I actually like that it's making me have to realize that not everything's going to come super easy. It's going to be hard work. It's grit. It's iron on iron. Like, it's remembering that there's thousands of people doing this, and it's okay to need help. It's okay to be vulnerable and not have all the answers, because I don't have all the answers, especially for a lot of the tech stuff, right? And so for myself, just embracing the suck. I hate to use that word, but embracing the suck of the fact that it's not going to be exactly what I want always. I do have to actually step back and just trust the process. So like I said at the beginning, I was ready to just dive, right? I wanted to go to the deep end and get it all done. And then just realizing that I have to trust the process a little bit more than just diving in and like an agenda. So I'm a list person. So give me the list, I'll get it done. But this list hasn't been check mark. It's here's a bullet point, and there's a lot of tabs inward that end up coming up that I'm like, oh, I don't know the answer to that. And if I would finish the whole video that was in the blueprints, I'd get all the answers. I just need to be patient and take a step back and remember that I have to learn all of the skills before I try to push it, right? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Total sense. And also, I want to point out this little graphic, which shows you the 4 stages of learning. And these are the 4 stages of learning are, as you can see here, first, hold on, let me as you see down here at the bottom, unconscious incompetence, right? Right here.
Mm-hmm.
That means that you don't know that you don't know, right? Kind of like, I didn't even know that existed. You're unconsciously don't even, like, it's just not even anywhere inside of your brain. It's an unconscious, and you're incompetent in terms of this particular skill set. Then you gain awareness, right? Like, oh damn, this thing exists. So now you go up and realize what you don't know. Conscious incompetence. I'm conscious that I don't know this, right? Now, with some help, you move up to number 3, which is conscious competence. And this is the learning and change stage. It does feel uncomfortable. It does hurt a little bit, or it can hurt a little bit, right? That's why it says ouch right there. Finally, after hanging out in the conscious competence, which means that it's not a habit yet, you're still having to grow through, you're having to force everything. It's not second nature, which is unconscious competence, which essentially means I can do this in my sleep, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure you have things like motherhood, certain things you do as a mother, certain things you do as a human being. Walking, for example. Do you remember when you were a baby? Probably not. None of us do, because we were unconsciously incompetent. Didn't even know that walking applied to us, right? Then all of a sudden we became conscious. Oh, wait, they're walking, but I can't walk. I want to walk. I'm going to try, right? Then it was like, okay, mommy's gonna hold you up and walk with you. Conscious competence, right? I'm doing it, but with a little bit of help. And then at some point, you mastered walking. It became second nature. Now you don't even think about it, do you? I don't either. Just roll out of bed in the morning and just walk. And you know what's ironic? When something becomes second nature, you don't even dwell on when you were unconsciously incompetent. You forget about it, because now you've mastered this particular skill set, and now you move on to something else. You ever seen a professional athlete, like, for example, Michael Jordan? I grew up with Michael Jordan. Well, it was second nature for him to play basketball, but he loved playing golf because he wasn't a master at it. He was consciously incompetent, right? Or consciously competent, right? He was in this stage where he was not yet, it was not yet second nature to him. This learning that we're doing right here, developing any skill sets for anything in life, whether it be walking or whether it be online marketing, we go through this same 4-stage process. And I just invite everybody to give yourself a break and allow yourself to move through these stages. Thank the good Lord that you had the aha and awareness that entrepreneurship, financial freedom, whatever you're going after, is something that exists out there with some hard work. And allow yourself to go through these stages and keep doing it until it becomes second nature. Lacie, does that resonate with you?
100%. Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah. Everything you just said, it was like, yeah. And I continue to, if there's anybody that's on this, that's like me, that's like, go getter, and like, I can do this, I'm going to get it done. And like reminding yourself that you got time, right? And if God forbid, it's not, in our will to be here in a week, then you weren't going to get it done anyways, right? And so just take the steps and give yourself an allotted time and patience to do the training. Because I had a couple people that, they signed up and they were like, well, now I feel like a statistic, because I was confused after day 1 and I tried to go to day 4, and I was like, trust the process, right? And I'm telling them to trust the process, but I'm trying to do the same thing by just diving in. And exciting to make money. It's exciting to be successful, but it's even more exciting to learn the full 360 view of skill set than it is to only have 180% of that and then feel like you have this empty spot in your knowledge that you do lack. And so like I said, I think that especially for beginners, as I am a beginner, I highly recommend just taking the time to do each day's challenge and be present for it and actually listen and learn and not try to be applying during the learning. Learn and then apply, learn and then apply, right? And so that you're not missing really important nuggets that are in the trainings, because obviously, Dave, you've got it successfully put together because we all want it, right? We're all here and we know that it works, but I was trying to skip some of the steps to be able to launch faster because I was really excited to start making money and I was really excited to be successful. But I that is one of my limited factors, that I tried to dive too fast. And I just had to take a step back, and I actually had to go back and rewatch a couple of the videos because I applied during the video and I was working on it at the same time. So I learned how to do it in that moment, but I brain dumped so quickly that when I went to do another thing just like it a month later, I couldn't remember how to do it because I was not fully embracing the learning process. I was trying to just run with it, right? So yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. So honest and just such wise words. I've loved this conversation so much this morning, Lacie. It's just been a real pleasure. And my best to you and your husband and your 4 kids. You guys are just really at the beginning of your amazing journey together, and it's so beautiful that you're both so hardworking and so supportive towards each other. And I just am so excited for how you're going to grow through this, and can't wait to have you back and continue getting updates on your journey and learning from you as well. So thank you for being so honest and vulnerable with us this morning and really letting us understand what this has been like for you. Stay legendary, my dear friend. Okay. And thank you for your time.
Thank you for letting me be here.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right. We'll talk to you soon, and stay legendary, my friend. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, my friends. Gosh, it just keeps getting better and better, my friends. Just never a bad conversation here on Wake Up Legendary. It's just so inspiring. You can find and follow Lacie over on TikTok at Cultivate Wealth. Okay. You can follow her new Instagram page over at cultivate.live or cultivate.live.inspire. Spelled exactly how it sounds, just a dot in between those 2 words, cultivate.live.inspire. And you can also find her over on Facebook, Lacie Huebner, Huebner. Okay, full spelling is Lacie, Lacie Huebner, Huebner. My friends, what a powerful opportunity to be able to hear from somebody who's just really getting started, but was able to share some incredibly powerful experience about taking your time. Just those last few moments with Lacie this morning was worth the price of admission, which was free this morning. And sometimes when something's free, we don't pay attention. That oftentimes can be a huge disservice that you do to yourself, especially with these shows. So often you're wondering what's behind those walls. Is it worth it? Should I dive into this and commit if I want to learn digital marketing, and specifically if I want to learn the core 4 business models that we teach here? Well, we give you a taste every day. every morning, Monday through Friday, nearly an hour long, or some go over, of interviewing actual clients who have done this, and they come back and share their experience in such a real and honest and transparent way, like Lacie did this morning. My hope for you is that you take the time to listen. There is an episode that will speak to each one of you. If you are looking for inspiration, if you're looking for ways to, pull those weeds of self-doubt and plant seeds of faith and of confidence, you will find them here. And these Wake Up Legendary episodes work magically. I shouldn't say magically. Let me take that back. Somebody might have an unrealistic expectation. They work excellent with the curriculum, which is the how-to. This is the why. This is the here's what it did for me. This is the story behind people's success that oftentimes you don't hear or really get to fully understand by just looking at what they're doing out there on social media. And so when you combine all of this, it creates sort of a leadership or an entrepreneur factory, right? To where you go to the different stages, the different departments, and you get the how-to, and then we sprinkle on the belief and all of the things that you need to be paying attention to in your mindset here on these episodes. And so soak this up, right? Don't take this for granted. This stuff is powerful. And my hope is that you'll, even if you can't pay attention right now, or you say, oh, I missed that part, you go back and you re-listen to it. This is like reading a book. When you go back and revisit, you're going to hear something that you didn't hear the first time. We upload all of these episodes on all the major podcast platforms. Just go on them and type in Wake Up Legendary. We upload the episodes the same day. You can also just come right back to our Facebook page right here and re-listen and watch any of the episodes if you feel like you missed something or you want to review something. Dig in, take advantage of it. And as Lacie said, with the how-to and the curriculum, give yourself the gift of going through it so you know, and don't put the cart before the horse. You have plenty of time to build your future. Even those of you who are in the later chapters of your years, don't feel rushed like, oh, I need to get it. Hey, take the time. It's not about the destination. It's the journey of getting there. You'll learn about yourself and you'll build your confidence. Okay. That will give you the confidence when it's time to launch, to feel mostly confident that you at least are heading in the right direction versus just throwing spaghetti at the wall. Lacie laid all of this out for you this morning in beautiful detail. Thank you again, Lacie, for an amazing episode. My friends, be legendary. Have a wonderful day. Those of you who are going to be at the mastermind this weekend in Orlando, we'll see you there. I can't wait. I'm heading up tomorrow right after Wake Up Legendary. And with that being said, we'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Thank you again, Lacie.